Welcome everyone to today's MOOCs to Masters, how to stack from a Coursera open enrollment course all the way into a master's degree program with Gies College of Business. We're going to take just a couple of minutes to allow people to get in and get their audio set up. While we're doing that, we're going to launch a quick poll though to see where our participants are joining from today. We're going to use the Poll Everywhere software, just one of the multiple technologies that we utilize in Gies Business to encourage and foster engagement. So if you don't mind, go ahead and either scan the QR code that's up on the screen here, or you can copy the link. Lori, if you wouldn't mind dropping that link into the chat. And letting us know where you're joining from today, and our responses will begin to populate on the screen. One of the biggest key differentiators of our programs is just the diversity of students that we see, representing over 100 countries in our programs, and we love to see that in our prospective student webinars as well. So it looks like we're starting to get some responses in. Anyone that's just joining us, feel free to scan that QR code or join the link in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. Once you've responded, go ahead and keep that link open because we will we'll do some more polls throughout today's presentation. Got a couple from the US so far, and it looks like one from Europe. Don't be shy. You don't have to turn on your camera. You don't have to talk, but let us know where you're joining from. Scan that QR code or the link in the chat. Good. We're seeing a few more pop up now, several here from the States. We've got someone joining from Ethiopia, which is great to see. A few more coming in. We'll take a couple more minutes as people join, continue to fill out that poll, but we'll start with some introductions as well. So my name is Casey Jones. I'm the director for recruitment and admissions with our graduate programs at Gies College of Business. I'm joined by one of my colleagues today, Lori Hayes, who's working in the background. Lori will be answering a lot of your questions in the chat or Q&A. The Q&A tends to be a little bit easier to manage, but Lori's a rock star, so she'll answer them however the questions come in. So feel free to send those in via either platform throughout today's presentation. We'll also have a little bit of time at the end of the session to answer live as well. And then I'm also very excited to be joined by one of our current students in our IMBA program, Ines. Ines, would you mind doing just a little introduction on yourself, where you're joining from, maybe how you first learned about the program and what you do professionally?
Hello everyone, my name is Ines. I'm originally from Austria and I moved to Los Angeles when I was 21, and I'm in LA right now. And my first career was in post-production, working for television and movie studios as an editor and producer. And then a few years ago, I changed careers and I became a project manager. And I stumbled across the Gies program via Coursera, where I took some courses and I really liked them and I enjoyed them. And that's why I applied for the IMBA program last year, and luckily they took me. So hello everyone, I'm really excited to be here.
Great, thanks, Ines. And she has a really cool story. She shared a unique background coming into the program. We actually just did a blog post on Ines as well. So we'll learn more about her throughout today's journey, but I'll also encourage you to check out that blog post after the session as well. So good, we're getting a couple more responses in here and have some good representation. Again, keep that link open if you have pulled it up, as we will have some more polls throughout today's session. So quick overview of our topic for the day. We will give a high-level overview of Gies Business online programs, what we offer, and the different variety of credentials and paths into those credentials. We'll talk about our stackable nature, how you can start on the Coursera platform if that's where you are now and take that into a 4-credit offering. We'll look at what steps may need to be completed to get you there based on where you are in the journey. We'll break down the credentials a little bit more based on their differentiators in terms of time and cost. Then we'll talk about some of the student experience that's available outside of the classroom. So in addition to getting your degree or getting a graduate certificate, what opportunities there are to network, to engage in person, to collaborate with your peers and faculty in the program. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we'll have some time for Q&A as well at the end of the session. So there's 3 key pillars for Gies Online that really directs everything that we do. First and foremost, we do want these programs to be very flexible. They are designed for working professionals. About 95% of students in any of our 4-credit offerings are working full-time as they're pursuing the program. We want to recognize that and ensure that this is something that they're going to be successful in, both in terms of total duration of their program or credential, also the number of hours that they're spending each week, and what hours work for them. Is it mornings work best? Is it evenings? Is it cramming in some time over their break? Really, one of the key factors of today's presentation is our stackable nature. So you can really test drive something on the Coursera platform in an open content, fully asynchronous way. Maybe you're not ready for a full degree program, or you really want to try out this online learning before paying a substantial amount of money. That stackable curriculum is really important to ensure that you're not wasting any time or financial commitment along the way. And then last but not least, all of our programs are online by design. So this isn't a result of the pandemic and kind of needing to make this shift. Our first fully online program, the IMBA, was launched in 2016, and a number of years of programming and research was done prior to that. We made significant investments both in staff and resources and financially to ensure success in our programs. Just a little bit more on that stackable build before we'll go into another poll. And these are kind of the pillars that we're going to hit on today. So we have open online courses, also known as MOOCs, on the Coursera platform. Probably a lot of you in the session today are familiar with what a MOOC is. As a standalone, it's a non-credit credential. So that means while the content was created by the University of Illinois, it doesn't appear on a transcript. You will get a certificate at completion, but if you partner that content with what we call our high engagement component of courses, that can earn you credit hours from the University of Illinois. And some students choose just to take a single course, a single 4-credit course. Again, maybe to test the waters, maybe that's all they're looking for. So we certainly offer that option. Moving up, we have graduate certificates, which are a series of typically 3 to 4 of those 4-credit courses. And then, of course, we offer fully online degree programs, and we'll break down each one of those in a little bit more detail. Just one more look at those different options. This graph kind of shows a nice layering, moving from the non-credit course all the way up to a master's degree, but it certainly doesn't have to look like this. Again, it's flexible in that way that you could start with the MOOC, you can move directly into a master's degree, or you could do some combination. We have students go into a graduate certificate and then go back and take a couple more MOOCs and then later decide to pursue the full degree, and that perfectly works for them as well. Okay, so we want to learn a little bit more about our audience before we jump into learning more about each of these options. We want to know what's your experience with open content or MOOCs on the Coursera platform. So again, there's a QR code up in the corner of the screen, or you can copy and paste that link into a browser or send a text message. And any of those are going to get you to Poll Everywhere, where you can complete this quick survey. How many MOOCs have you completed? Is this a brand new concept to you, or is the count endless? I'm going to go ahead and switch to responses. While I do that, Ines, how about you? I know you started on the Coursera platform. How many MOOCs had you taken? What was the subject area?
Ooh, so I've taken around 3 specializations, and I think one specialization is 6 courses plus a capstone project. So
Okay.
I actually did a lot before I applied, and
Yeah.
I have to say, maybe the biggest mistake was that I did not apply earlier.
Okay. So you were pretty experienced. What subjects were you taking?
I took digital marketing, strategic management, leadership, strategic innovation and leadership.
Okay.
And I also took some courses in business analytics and also challenge. I think it's called Challenges in Global Business.
Sure. Okay.
And yeah,
Okay. Very
I was
nice.
very involved.
Yeah. So we've got a little bit of a mixture. It looks like here we've got several people that are familiar with MOOCs, but we've certainly got a couple that have never taken one. Ines, can you kind of share your experience? What is a MOOC? What should you experience there?
So the MOOCs are all on Coursera, and they usually are 4 weeks plus, so 4 weeks per MOOC. And a specialization has 6 courses plus a capstone. And the capstone project, what I really liked about the capstone project is because it applies what you learned during the 6 courses to something practical. So you can actually apply it. And each MOOC has 4 weeks, and you learn each week something new, and also each week usually has a test or an assignment. And yes, so
Yeah,
I think
great description. Yeah. One couple of key things that I'll point out, Ines had done a lot of specializations, which again is a series of MOOCs that all build upon each other, but you can jump in and just take one individual MOOC course. And while most are designed to be done in 4 weeks, what's really nice about a MOOC is that
yes,
it's fully asynchronous, and they're going to give you some very soft deadlines to help you stay engaged. But if you don't meet that deadline in a MOOC, it's no worries. You continue at your pace, and that can be reset for you. That'll look a little
exactly.
different as we move into our 4 credit courses. But again, if you're just looking to test the waters, it's a great way to see if you can make that commitment both to yourself and to a program.
Exactly. And also, if I could add, what I really liked about the MOOCs was that even if you take a specialization, you don't have to, have the first, second, third MOOCs. You can actually switch it up a little and apply it to your own interest. And maybe you want to take MOOC number 2 before you take MOOC number 1. And it also, if you don't, if you miss a deadline, it really doesn't matter on Coursera because you can always extend your time to complete a test or an assignment. So it gives you a lot of freedom and a lot of freedom and what else? Yeah.
Yeah, autonomy, I think. Yeah. And the other thing about MOOCs that's really nice is they are very low cost. So if you're just taking a MOOC as a standalone, you can actually audit a lot of MOOCs for no charge at all, or you can pay a small subscription fee to Coursera. I think it's currently $39 a month. And then you do get a verified certificate upon completion. So it is something that you could display on your resume or or a LinkedIn
Yeah, I think they're
profile.
like
So
what?
again,
Sorry, can I just say what I did, because maybe that
yeah,
helps other students. What I did on Coursera, I applied for a scholarship, and it takes about 15 days for it to be approved, and then Coursera actually gives you the MOOCs for free, and then you get the
even better.
certificate, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, even better. So again, if online learning is brand new to you, starting with a MOOC can be a really great starting point, and a lot of content to be learned there. Of course, today's presentation is going a little bit beyond the MOOCs, however. So if you were to progress beyond a MOOC and take a 4-credit course through the University of Illinois Gies College of Business, we're going to combine that MOOC content, which we often call the foundational component of the course, or the virtual textbook for the course. We're going to pair that with what we call our high engagement component. So again, in the MOOC, it's going to be self-paced. There's going to be some self-assessed quizzes, sometimes peer-reviewed assignments, a lot of recorded video content, as well as some readings. The high engagement component, which comes along with our 4-credit courses in Gies Business, is maybe what you would expect in a traditional lecture if you were to be sitting here on campus. So that takes place in a separate platform called Canvas, which is housed by the University of Illinois. It's going to build upon that MOOC content and give you the opportunity to engage with other learners in the course, either through live lectures and breakout sessions, but also through a lot of group discussions and hands-on projects. Our live lectures are generally held 2 to 3 times a week. That's the same lecture, so just gives you flexibility in when to attend. Typically offered at least once in the morning hours and once in the evening hours, Central Standard Time here in Illinois, to try to meet different time zones. And then while we strongly encourage students to attend the live lectures, again, we preach that flexibility, so they are recorded and they are available to watch on demand. All of our faculty members are also going to offer office hours each week, so that's a great opportunity to follow up on something that maybe wasn't completely clear to you in that live lecture, maybe get into a little more in-depth discussion with a faculty member. I'm going to pause my screen for screen sharing for just a minute and ask, can you talk a little bit about the live lecture experience? Do you traditionally attend those, or watch the recordings on demand?
So I also have a full-time job. Sometimes I cannot go to the live lectures because I'm at work. But I have to say there are 3 live lectures, so every week you get to choose between 3 appointments for the live lectures, which I think is really awesome. And if I cannot go to a live lecture online, then I can watch it afterwards. And the live lectures are basically online throughout the course. So when I have to do an assignment or homework or a team assignment and I'm unsure about something, I can always go back to the live lectures and watch it again.
Yeah, that's a really interesting component of online, because I think we've actually heard from a lot of students that they learn better in the online format because they can rewatch content as needed. How about group work with your peers in the program? Can you share a little bit about your experience there?
Sure. So now I'm in my 3rd semester. So for the last 2 semesters, I was paired with other people for team projects, and I stayed with the same people for the whole semester, which was really great because you get to know somebody and you get to know the group. And I have to say, the teams I've been assigned with were all really awesome, great people, and also some friendships were formed. And the first group I was in, we were on 3 different continents, on 5 different time zones. So it was very exciting, and I learned a lot because everybody had a different professional background and cultural background, which I really like and appreciate about this program, because I get to meet people from all over the world. and not just only from one little part of the world. And I think that's really awesome. And the team projects, I met with my team once a week or maybe twice a week, and we work on projects together. And so far, it has been a really, really great experience.
Good. Yeah. So we really hyped up the MOOCs to start, right? We said they're asynchronous and they're flexible and they provide high quality content. But the high engagement component is really exciting too, because you get that opportunity to connect with learners from, as Ines has shared, across the globe, across a variety of different industries. And so it allows you to put really a different lens and look on things. You mentioned all the different continents and time zones. We hear a lot of times, isn't that difficult to work across those time zones? And it can be a challenge, but all students are given a grouping survey at the beginning of their program that they can update throughout their journey as needed. So you're going to be able to list your preferred meeting times and availability. So we want those groups to be diverse, but we also want to ensure that you're going to be able to meet together at times that work for everyone.
Exactly. So before the courses start, you get a list, like basically a timesheet where you let the university know when is the best time for me, and then you group you with people who are also in the time zone, or not time zone, but who also selected those times. And another thing I really liked was I took 2 courses per semester, and the university always grouped me with people who also took the same 2 courses. So it's you can actually form a much better bond with people, because you're not only working on one course together, but you're working on 2 courses together.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's switch back over. We're going to do one more poll here. We've got a couple of screenshots before we get to that poll. These are just some of our tremendous faculty members teaching in those live lectures. If you've taken some of the MOOCs, maybe you've seen them in action in their recorded videos. They're even more engaging in the live lectures. And then if you decide to do a degree program, you can actually come to campus and meet them in person, which is always a great opportunity. So okay, let's do our next poll. Some of you are already there, which is great. We want to know a little bit about which programs you are all interested in. We're going to share some details on each of these, but again, QR code up in the corner that you can scan, or if you've got that same link open, we've got options for our IMBA program, the Master of Business Administration. We've got the IMSM, which is a Master of Science and Management. IMSA is our accounting degree program. We've got a full portfolio of graduate certificates spanning 13 different topics. Those are a little bit shorter credentials. We've got non-degree individual courses, and then the MOOCs themselves. Okay, looks like most people looking at a degree program, so great. Okay, I'll skim this one quickly because I don't think anyone was interested in a single non-degree 4-credit course, but I do want to share that we have that offering. So again, this is partnering that MOOC content with the high engagement, but just taking a single course. So not enrolled in a full degree program, but again, can be a nice stepping stone, a nice path on a journey to a larger credential if desired. You're going to get that same high quality, high engagement component. You're going to be actually enrolled with students in our degree programs, so have the opportunity to interact through some of those live lectures and breakout rooms. Typically, you're grouping, if you're in just a non-degree course, is just with other non-degree students for those projects. But this is, again, a great trial opportunity to do a single 4-credit course. It's a super quick application process. You're just providing us some brief information, and we can generally populate that decision within about a day's time. You are paying tuition at the rate for our online programs, which is $332 per credit hour for our management courses and $850 per credit hour for our accounting courses. Most of these non-degree courses are going to be 4 credit hours. Moving on to our portfolio of graduate certificates. I'm not sure we had anybody express interest here yet either, but this is a newer credential, certainly newer on the University of Illinois campus, but it's a recognized credential. So in addition to getting a transcript from the University of Illinois that indicates the coursework that you've taken, you would actually get a certificate very similar to a diploma at the end of the program, demonstrating the credential that you've earned. So a graduate certificate is comprised of 12 credit hours of coursework. Again, depending on the certificate, that's typically 3 to 4 courses. This also has a rather brief application process. And a key differentiator from a lot of other offerings out there is that these graduate certificates can stand on their own. They're becoming more and more recognized by employers. But they can also be later stacked into one of our degree programs. Again, one of our key differentiators and one of our pillars in Gies Online. So you can start in a graduate certificate, take those 12 credit hours, and later utilize it towards your degree here at Gies if desired. So we've got a variety of different subject areas that you can master over there on the right-hand side of your screen in the portfolio of graduate certificates. I should also share, we haven't even sent out the full announcement to prospective students, but learners in our degree programs can also now earn the transcriptable graduate certificate while enrolled as a degree student as well. So just an additional selling point that you can add, again, to your resume or LinkedIn profile to demonstrate knowledge gain throughout the program. Okay, so I know we had quite a few people interested in MSM, Master of Management program, and that's what's next up on our docket. The Master of Management program was initially designed for individuals who maybe didn't have the work experience required for our MBA or were really new to business, but we've actually seen a wide variety of learners enroll in this program from those very green in their career up to experienced professionals that are really just looking to round out their knowledge with a formal education and a master's degree. So some of the key differentiators of the Master's of Management is that it can be completed in as little as 1 year. So if you're looking for something kind of quick and that you can demonstrate your knowledge, the MSM may be a great fit for that. It can be expanded out over 5 years, however. So don't get locked into that 1 year and feel fearful that you're going to have to complete in that time frame. Both of our Master of Management and our IMBA program courses are offered in 8-week sessions, so have 5 flexible start times throughout the duration of each year. The Master of Management is comprised of 6 core courses. They're gonna give you the fundamentals of business, a little bit of accounting, a little bit of finance, a little bit of management. But then you're going to be able to pair that with 3 elective courses to really customize the degree based on your needs. And then the overall cost of the Master of Management program is just under $12,000. With any of our programs, we have a pay-as-you-go tuition model. So you're just being charged for courses as you enroll for them. There's no upfront fee to hold your seat in the program. There's not a per semester cost. It's going to be dependent on the number of credit hours that you register for, which can be really important. Again, deciding your timeline of whether you want to take 2 courses every 8-week sessions and knock that degree out over a year, or maybe you need to expand over a 2-year time frame, which is perfectly acceptable for the MSM as well. And then you're just taking 1 course every 8-week session, and just paying tuition for that 1 course at a time. Ines, would you mind sharing? Are you doing? And you mentioned this. Are you doing 2 courses simultaneously or just 1 at a time?
I do 2 courses. Yes, I've done 2 courses for
Okay.
the last 2 semesters, and this semester I also took 2 courses.
Okay. So, how much time would you say you spend on an average basis, on a weekly basis on your coursework?
Well, it's a little difficult to say because it really depends on your background. For example, for me, business analytics or like um, microeconomics was more challenging than other subjects because I didn't have any background in that. So I spent a little more time preparing for that course. But I mean, it is an MBA, so it is challenging and you have to put some time aside. But I have a full-time job and I can manage. And I think it's just really important to take a block out of your day or week and just follow through on assignments and homework and meeting your team. So it's really tough to say how many hours I spent a week because sometimes, you have tests where I need a little longer to prepare for, but maybe I work like 1 or 2 hours a day, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, we typically recommend 10 to 15 hours per week per course, but I think you were spot on at the beginning. It's really dependent on the course and your background. If you've taken the MOOC in advance, you've already done some of that foundational coursework. So you may be saving yourself some hours once you're in the degree program. So that's another benefit. It's something that you can continue to do throughout the duration of the program. You can work ahead in your MOOCs if desired. We encourage you not to work too far ahead. We don't want you to lose that knowledge when you go into the high engagement component, but it's always there and available as a refresher if needed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. I also worked ahead on the MOOCs. And then if I need any more information or if I forgot something or I need to go back for my assignment, then I maybe just watch 2 or 3 videos from the MOOCs. I don't have to watch everything. We watch everything again, so that can also save you a lot of time, which I think is really awesome. It's perfect, especially when you have a full-time job or part-time job or other commitments. Yeah.
Yeah, I know personally, I've taken a couple of MOOCs. I can watch the videos. I can go on a quick walk, over lunch and listen to
Yeah.
some videos, which is really nice. So, up next is a little bit of more information on our Master of Science in Accountancy. This program is a total of 32 credit hours. It's designed to be completed in 18 to 36 months, but again, you have up to that 5-year window if desired. For this program, if you were to look at that 18-month timeline, you'd be taking 2 courses simultaneously. If you spread out over 3 years, you just need to take 1 course at a time. The MSA is a little bit unique from our other 2 degree programs in that most courses are 16 weeks in length. So we do only have 3 start dates. That is January, May, and August for this program. Um, but still a lot of flexibility in the degree itself. There are 5 core courses, which all students take, and then an elective of 3 courses that can really differentiate your degree and again, suit your needs. Those elective courses can be from our extensive portfolio of accounting courses, or they actually could come from our MBA curriculum. The University of Illinois is what consistently ranked as one of the top 3 programs in graduate accountancy education. And that shows if you're looking to sit for the CPA, we have incredibly successful pass rates. And this program is designed for individuals with or without an accounting background. Last but not least is the program Anasa is enrolled in, which is the IMBA or Online Master of Business Administration. This particular program is about double the credit hours of the MSM, so designed to be completed in 2 to 3 years. Again, provides that flexibility of enrollment for up to 5 years, however. 6 specializations in this program. So we arrange all of our courses into specializations. There are 4 core specializations, which all students complete. That kind of gives you that traditional MBA curriculum. And then you can select from 2 of our focus area specializations or an elective path of coursework to complete the degree requirements. In addition to the courses required for this program, there are 3 capstones which are required. 2 of those capstones, and these are a little bit different than the capstones on the Coursera platform that we've previously mentioned. So these are designed to be high engagement, group-based, project-based capstones. 2 of them are specialization capstones of your choosing based on the core or focus areas that you take. And then all students will complete 1 4-week program capstone at the end of their program. The MBA is flexible in that it has 5 starting points similar to the MSM and a total tuition just under $24,000, which it's hard to beat in terms of comparison of price and quality program of options out there on the market. Oh, quick note, I usually mention this before, so I'm glad that there's a slide here. We do refer to all of our degree programs as the I degrees. You'll hear us refer to them as IMBA, IMSM, IMSA. However, the I is just referring to the delivery method, which is online. There's nothing on your transcripts or diploma that would indicate that the program was done online. This is the same quality of program, rigor of academics that you would expect if you were to come do any residential program here on campus at the University of Illinois. Okay, so I'm going to pause before I go into this a little bit. Ines, have you had any opportunities to engage? You're still fairly new in your program, to engage outside of the classroom.
Well, not in person, because since I'm working full-time, I have not had the opportunity to meet other students in person, but I have stayed in touch with my team members, and I have to say the networking opportunities are really great because there are a lot of, like, for example, we have a workspace and alumni where you can connect with other students and stay in touch. So that has really helped me to make friendships and connections and also learn from others. And there's also a job and internship website where you can look for internships, what I'm actually doing right now. So I mean, it really is how much you put in, you get out, you know, so yeah.
Absolutely. And we're going to get you some connections in person and make sure we see you on campus at some point as well. So I'll talk a little bit about some of those opportunities. So again, this is, one of the reasons that you would maybe consider moving beyond the MOOCs and doing a 4-credit program is some of these opportunities that you get to engage with your peers, whether that be fully online in those group work, or it's taking advantage of some of the in-person opportunities as well. So it's a common question, how do I network? I'm fearful that I'm not going to be able to network, and we really feel quite the opposite, that you're able to build even that stronger, broader community with individuals from across the globe and across industries. So Gies leads a number of different opportunities. We have a variety of iConnects across the US and internationally. Each year, our associate dean for graduate programs was in India last week and had several of these iConnects. We have another colleague who is going to be in Singapore later this month. We have an iConnect coming up in Chicago nearby next week as well. So a lot of opportunities where anytime that our faculty or staff are traveling, we're going to get together for some casual, conversation, dinner. Occasionally a guest speaker is available at those as well. We also have opportunities for immersions, particularly within our degree programs. These can be a really great opportunity if you get to participate. Typically, international immersion opportunities lasting several days up to a week, and an opportunity to connect and work on a very hands-on project with a company in the host region. Numerous connections that have facilitated into new friendships that are very long lasting have happened from these immersions. I think we've got some slides coming up in just a minute to go into those into more detail. Last but not least, as a Gies-led in-person opportunity, is iConverge, which is our annual conference on campus here each September. We typically have a couple hundred students come to campus for professional development, networking, get to experience the campus culture as well, do a football game and tailgate. So a lot of fun mixed in there. We always encourage both current students and alums to participate in that event if possible. We also have a lot of opportunities for student-led initiatives, and I think this is really cool and important in the online environment, as well as that our students are busy working full-time professionals. They're doing school as well, but they still take the opportunity to start these new initiatives as well. So Workplace is a big one. It's kind of, think of it as an online water cooler. It's hosted by Meta, so a little bit of a combination of Facebook, but also LinkedIn with a professional flair, just open to students in our iDegree programs to connect, join groups based on the program they're joining, their industry, maybe topics outside of the classroom that they have an interest in as well. We have students facilitate their own meetups as well. So it may be individuals in a particular geographic area getting together for coffee or drinks on a set basis. It may be learners that are traveling for work and going to be in another city for just a night or two. A lot of stories of reaching out on Workplace and say, I'm going to be flying through Boston next week. Who wants to grab dinner together? So that's a unique opportunity there. We've touched on the group work a lot. That's kind of a facilitated built-in networking that's going to be required of all students. And then we have some formal groups that we invite our learners to join as well. So our ambassadors and new student guides help us in presentations like this. They may connect with prospective learners to share their experience one-on-one or partake in some social media marketing for us. They may aid students that have recently been admitted who still have questions or need assistance in making their decision. And then we have our IGBA, which is our Graduate Business Association, which is a formally recognized registered student organization, but specifically made up of students in our online programs here at Gies Business. And they really aid the conversation between the student body and our staff and faculty to ensure we're continuing to make progress forward with our programs. Couple of just slides of pictures here. Here's Workplace, the online platform that I mentioned. Great way to just share some of the highlights where you're studying, some of those connections that occur. Starting, sharing news of your startup, your vacation, your new little ones. It can be really inspiring to go on to Workplace and see, again, all the different regions that our learners come from, and sharing their great news. This is a couple of photos from, this is a Seattle immersion, actually from a couple of years ago. We've moved most of our immersions outside of the United States, but as you can see, they're connecting with top firms in these regions, really hands-on, great experience. It's always positive feedback, and they make some lifelong connections and friendships through these immersions as well. These are pictures from our recent iConverge. As you can see, just over 500 students. This middle picture here is actually done in our studio. So that's where our live lectures happen. They're very similar to a news or production studio. You know, you've got that green screen. Hayden Noel is sitting there in the front row as one of our very well-known faculty members. He loves to host students here on campus and show them around. So if you get the option to join us for iConverge, I certainly encourage you to do so. The number of countries represented is just phenomenal. Those are countries actually here on campus in Illinois for iConverge. And last but not least, a few just snapshots of some of the student-led meetups. So again, just learners getting to know each other through the program and then connecting in person. So really nice. Ines, we're going to get you at that LA one the next time it happens. Okay, we're getting close on content. I know we've got some good questions going in the chat. And as I want to pause for just a second before we get into some of the resources we provide in the application. Again, you're still fairly new in your program, but can you share a little bit about, you know, the impact it has had, what's been maybe your favorite course so far in IMBA?
Yeah, so my favorite course, it's really hard to say because for my first semester, I took microeconomics, which was something I've never done before. And it was really challenging. And I really liked it because it was challenging and because it was something new. So far, I only really made great experiences with every course I took. Microeconomics, marketing, leadership, I like it all. And the professors are all really nice, and they take their time to answer questions and really get the students engaged and involved. And that's also what I really appreciate. And I just wanted to say something about what you mentioned earlier, that I received my bachelor's degree from the University of Vienna, and it was on campus. But I feel like now, even though this program is online, I'm much more involved with Gies than I was with my previous university, because the connections and yeah, so I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think a lot of us take our undergrad for granted often. We're kind of young, right? And now that we get a little bit of experience, we know the value of those connections, right? But ensuring if you're going to do an online program that you can still make them is really important, I think, in the factors of what you're considering. But again, you're able to build that global network instead of from a very small region where maybe you move in another couple of years and you still have those connections to count on.
Yeah, and also doing the live lections, the live sessions, there are always usually two breakout sessions where you get grouped with like maybe 3 to 5 or 7 people, and you get like 8 to 15 minutes to discuss a case or discuss course information or subject matters. And I think that engaged me a lot more than when I was sitting in class on campus, because there I was only listening, and at the University of Illinois Gies program, it's more like engage. Even though it's online, you're more engaged. It's strange, but it really is, you know. So yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm going to go back. We've got just a little bit more information to share, and then I promised a little bit of time for Q&A, so we will leave that. I just want to highlight some of the resources, again, outside of the classroom, but important to your program, and that is our student and academic success team. So we have a full staff on hand that works specifically with our online learners here in Gies Business, and they really are there to assist you through your journey. So whether that be making sure you're aligning with degree or program requirements, maybe there's a course that you're struggling in and you need additional assistance or resources to find success. Maybe it's it's something has happened in your personal or professional life that you need to withdraw from a course or take a break. This team is here to support you and to find the best path moving forward. And they're trained to work with our online learners, which I think is really important. A lot of our systems, unfortunately, are still set up for our residential students here on campus, but this team in particular knows all the caveats of the online world and is going to support you to make sure that you feel seen and heard and get the best process moving forward. I'm going to do one more poll here before we start talking about the application. That's our final topic for today. So if you've started an application or even read through the information, if there's anything that's giving you troubles, let us know and we'll make sure to hit on that a little bit more. Ines, is there anything about the application process that you recall you did your school not here in the States and that can be concerning for some students?
Yeah, so I had to take an English proficiency test because my native language is not English. And I did that via Duolingo, which was really straightforward. And I got the results immediately. And the transcripts that for my university was really easy because it was already given to me in German and in English. So I only had to send it to the University of Illinois. So yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, Duolingo has certainly made the English proficiency a little bit easier for most learners. So if you are required to do an English proficiency test, I would recommend that one. International transcripts can be tricky for some as we will require the native language as well as a certified English translation. If your undergraduate institution provides those, that's tremendous and the easiest way, but we certainly have options if your undergraduate institution is not able to do so. So it looks like some people are worried. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, and I mailed my transcripts to the university, and then they mailed it back to me. So the originals. So it was really easy and no problem at all.
Yeah, good to hear. For the application process, we just need unofficial copies so you could scan those in. But once you're admitted, we do require verification of the original or official transcript. So as shared, you can just mail those to us. We verify it and send right back. Looks like some people are a little worried about the academic statement, the recommendation form. So we'll hit on those certainly just a little bit more in depth. So I'm going to pull up a list of what is required for the application process. This is mostly for our degree programs, but I'll call out those that are required for the graduate certificates as well. So we are going to want to see a copy of your resume. We're typically just looking for 1 to 2 pages. I know some learners that have very strong technical expertise tend to have several pages. That's typically not necessary for us. I do ask that you condense that down if possible and put it in a sense where you're talking to someone who does not have expertise in the same area that you do. So write it in kind of layman's term where we can understand what you do on a day-to-day basis. We've talked a little bit about the transcripts. We are going to need copies of all of your academic history. International students are going to need both transcripts and a certificate of degree, and again, in the native language as well as a certified English translation. Unofficial copies, again, are fine for the application process, but we will require the officials' originals post-admission. Academic statement and short answers. It's kind of interesting to me that this one showed up pretty high as a concern. for the academic statement, we're really looking for a little bit of a summary of your background and why you're interested in this program. So it should be well written, it should be thoughtful, but we're really just looking to know about you and what are your goals and why you feel that this program is a good fit to achieve them. We do have some new short answer questions. 2 of them are required, 2 of them are optional. Again, nothing to overly stress about, but I will say we can tell when you put it straight into ChatGPT and put it straight into your application. So let's give it a little more thought than that. ChatGPT or similar AI can be a great tool to supplement or enhance your essays, but it shouldn't fully be writing it for you. Recommendation forms, I think that was the number 1 or 2 thing. We do require 2 recommendation submissions for each of our degree programs. You are just going to need to enter the contact information for those references into your application. From there, we're going to send those contacts an email with a link and ask them either to fill out a short questionnaire describing their experience with you, or they can upload that standard letter of recommendation. Typically that form can be done in just a couple of minutes. I'd say 5 to 10. It is sufficient to complete it. So it shouldn't be a very heavy lift on your recommender's part. International candidates, we do require English proficiency. However, if you have studied or worked in a country where English is the native language for 2 or more years, you are eligible for an exemption. We do not require the GMAT or GRE for any of our programs. If you'd like to submit a score, however, it can be used to supplement an application. And then we do have scholarship opportunities for any of our programs. They're not eligible for the summer start, but if you are applying for fall prior to early May, you can apply for a scholarship opportunity. These scholarships are very competitive. They do require an additional essay, which can be found within the application portal. Last but not least, I'll just touch really quickly. We do have a performance-based admissions track. So if you feel like some area of your application is lacking, you're certainly welcome to apply for that performance-based admissions track. We also sometimes recommend individuals into that track based on a review of their application. But if you have any specific questions there, certainly reach out to our team and we can talk that through with you a little bit more. After you submit your application, we do an initial review. Our team will reach out if there are any missing materials or we need some initial clarification on something. Then candidates are moved through the process. Many are invited to participate in an admissions interview with a member of our staff or an alum of the program. That'll take place on the Zoom platform. And then typically decisions are sent out within just a few weeks of completing that interview process. We have 2 application cycles open right now. So for any of our 3 degree programs and many of our graduate certificate credentials, as well as the non-degree, you can start in the summer term, which begins in May. Applications for that program are due in about 2 weeks. So Thursday, April 4th, or I should say for that start date. All applications received by that date will receive full consideration. We'll get you a rather quick decision so that we can get you onboarded and started in May. Applications for our fall cycle are also open right now. May 2nd is our priority 1 deadline. So that means we've waived the application fee. You can apply for that scholarship consideration. You can also start to get some early access. So if you apply by that priority deadline, we're going to get you into some of those networking platforms. You could start on some of your MOOCs in advance. You could get registered for your fall classes. So I would consider applying by that priority deadline if you're looking to start in the fall. Again, for the IMBA and IMSM programs, you still have the choice of starting in August or October. And for our IMSA program, it's an August start for the fall. I know we're running really tight on time, and I do like to keep us on schedule. So Ines, is there any final is there any advice I would say that you'd like to share going back in your journey, doing a MOOC on Coursera, and considering potentially going into a master's program?
Yeah, honestly, like I said before, the only thing I regret is not applying sooner. Because I've been taking courses on Coursera for a couple of years and I always put it off. And I'm really glad I did. And it's been a really nice experience so far. And I'm looking forward to the rest of my journey with Gies.
Okay. Yeah, excellent advice. I want to thank everyone for sharing or for joining us today and hopefully considering Gies in the next step of your journey. I know Lori has put a lot of information in the chat as well. If there was anything that we didn't cover today or they have questions, our team is happy to assist. We have one-on-one admission counseling. We have a variety of different events coming up through the remainder of the month as well. So I'd like to thank you all for joining today. It was great getting to know a little bit more about you through the polls, and hopefully we'll see an application or see you enrolled in one of our 4 credit offerings soon. Thanks, everyone.